Our judges have become political. Started under the Tories probably. Everything starts under the Tories. But they're political. They're social justice warriors now, in robes, sat in courts. This is why we don't deport anybody. Because this judge is part of a pro-immigration, pro-asylum seeker charity. That says it all. We already know what they're about, but yet they can still sit as a judge. This is disgraceful. Judges now are political activists in our court system. They never used to be. And this is what needs to be changed. How do we change it? Well, there are many things we need to do. The first thing is we need to pull out the European Court of Human Rights. Then we need to remove all that legislation that Tony Blair brought in out of our law books. That's what we need to do. There's a start. Then we need to assess all the judges we have, and the worst ones need to go straight away, because that sends a message to the ones under them that, oh shit, I better start following the law. And to a certain extent, the judges are following the law. It's the laws that are wrong. That's why we need to get rid of them. But how can we allow a nutcase, a criminal nutcase like this to stay in the country? He's already abused the country. He's abused our kindness. And a judge goes, you can stay. You can stay. Try not to kill any 6-year-old girls, though. That's where I draw the line as a judge. Try not to kill any 6-year-olds. Unless they start it. Unless they ask for it. In which case it might be self-defence. But try not to kill any of them. Because we've seen what happens in the country when that happens. They're our judges. The criminal justice system in the UK has been failing for a long time. You look at the police, you look at the prison service, you look at our courts, you look at probation. Our whole criminal justice system is failing and has been for decades and decades and decades. We employ far too many women in the police and in the prison service. Far too many women. They're a luxury we can't have anymore now because they're not up for the job. The vast majority of them are not up for the job. Then look at probation. Too pink, too fluffy. We can convince people not to commit crime. No, you can't. Probation doesn't work. There's only two things that stops criminals committing crime. The first one is the risk of them getting caught. Most people don't commit crime because they think they're going to get caught. So we need to ensure more and more criminals get caught because that reduces crime. The sentence itself doesn't deter crime by itself. Because why would you worry about the sentence if there's zero chance of getting caught? But harder sentences for people we catch, not to punish them, but to take them out of society. That's why I support things like 3 strikes and you're out. Or locking people up for their offending years, from 18 to about 32. If you can take people out of society for those years, crime goes through the floor. Because they're the peak crime years for an individual. So let them commit a couple of crimes in their teens and then we go, 15 years for you, mate. No more crime for you for 15 years. That's how we make society better and safer. But before we get to any of that, and let's not even talk about capital punishment, corporal punishment, I'm in favour of both of them. But before we get to any of that, we've got to deal with the court system. We've got to deal with these political judges that we have. That's what the next government needs to do. It needs to rip a big hole in our criminal justice system and give it a good cleansing. It's not what we want. It's not what the people want. It's not what it was there for. We basically need to start again and get these people out. And maybe then we'll have something called justice. Do you remember that word? Justice. We don't have that anymore. Ricky Jones proved that last week. We don't have justice. Lucy Connolly in jail didn't get justice. That's what we need, our criminal justice, to start delivering justice. Make sure you subscribe. See you next time.